All right, guys, welcome back to the Hemo Life podcast. This is your host, Elia Aguayo, and I have a very special episode for you guys today. I'm super excited. I've got some people that are really close to me. I actually grew up with Dr. Joe here on my right side, just to kind of see his growth and what the impact he's been able to make on the community is amazing. And I'm teaming up with Dr. Joe, and then to my left side here, I've got Carlin. He's from Houston, Texas, and man, he's an athlete. He's the embodiment of a hemophiliac athlete, from being a collegiate swimmer to now a bodybuilder and fitness coach. So we're going to give you guys a 3-part fitness series. We're calling this Strength Beyond Blood. It's going to be the ultimate fitness guide for a hemophiliac who wants to get fit, to change their lives, to level up and become an elite individual. So joining us today is Carlin. He's a competitive bodybuilder, a fitness instructor, and online coach known for pushing the limits of what's possible while living with severe hemophilia A. Carlin has not only built an impressive physique, but built a platform through a social media presence as Mac Lifts. Carlin shares raw insight, expert lifting tips, and powerful motivation for others battling chronic conditions. What makes Carlin's story stand out is his refusal to be defined by limitations. Despite managing joint damage and pain from a young age, he's become a symbol of resilience, mental grit, and what it means to own your rare breed mindset. His journey is not just about strength, it's about strategy, it's about recovery, discipline, and never backing down from the fight within. Dr. Joe Malesky, he is a board-certified family medicine physician and the founder of the St. Louis Medical Weight Loss Center in Chesterfield, Missouri. Diagnosed with severe hemophilia A at just 6 months old, Dr. Malesky has transformed personal adversity into a professional mission. His journey from managing joint bleeds and undergoing shoulder surgeries to become a dedicated physician exemplifies his resilience and determination. After earning his doctor of osteopathic medicine from Kansas City University and completing his residency at St. Louis University, Dr. Malesky recognized the critical link between obesity and chronic disease. This realization led him to establish the St. Louis Medical Loss Center, aiming to help patients achieve healthier lifestyles and prevent future illnesses. Beyond his clinical practice, Dr. Malesky is passionate about mentoring young individuals with hemophilia, emphasizing the importance of proactive health management and the pursuit of one's passions.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for the introduction.
That's awesome, man. I'm super excited. It's going to be an amazing episode, and we're going to be able to provide so much value to our listeners.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing just right off the bat is we got 3 hemophiliacs here. We got 2 bodybuilders. I'm not a bodybuilder, but I'm trying to get folks educated on how they can become healthier.
Yeah.
And you guys are a testimony. Look, you didn't let hemophilia define you, and you're in the gym, and you're looking great, and you're doing great things in the community. So I'm happy to be on this podcast because that's what I'm about, is really providing education to hemophiliacs that, yes, you can do these things if it's done in a way, the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I don't know when we connected. I know it was on Instagram through social media.
It was through social media, but my very first time meeting LA was when we went to a hemophilia conference. And I want to say 2014, my parents, LA was speaking, and he was speaking on his bodybuilding process. And my parents were like, Carlin, I wish you were there because you would have been interested. So that's when I started following on social media. And from that point, it was history from that point on, because I seen someone that looked the way that I wanted to look, and I was like, he's doing it. He has hemophilia. So I know it's possible. Yeah. Then from there,
I love these stories and I hate them at the same time, because I'm starting to realize I'm becoming ancient in the hemophilia world. Time to pass the torch on to a younger, more ready person to take that throne. You know, Carlin's competing. He just competed in his last show. Was last year when he competed on stage?
23. So it's been 2 years. I'm thinking about doing another one here very soon. We're in the cut as we speak. We started at 240.
Okay.
Now we're down to 210.
Yeah, man. I'm super proud of you and what you're doing, and I'm here to support you. So this episode is going to be awesome, guys. Today's episode is going to be one of the most empowering yet. We're diving deep into the world of fitness, mindset, nutrition, and recovery through the lens of these 2 warriors right here. They know exactly what it's like to push through the pain, to face limitations head on and rise above. You'll be hearing more about Carlin and his competitive bodybuilding journey, and Dr. Joe Malesky, a physician who not only treats primary care patients, but also lives the daily battle of living with the same condition. But so it's going to be a 3-part series. Like I said, we'll probably do about 2 or 3 segments today, and then keep you guys hooked and ready for the next episodes. So you guys ready for the first segment?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So
started.
this this is the topic that I'm most passionate about and obsessed about, because this is the topic that really helped me elevate myself. I started out saying I wanted to be the first hemophiliac to step on a bodybuilding stage. And I remember at 16, I went big. I was like, what is the biggest show that I could do to like prove a point, right? And it was the Arnold. And everyone laughed at me. Everyone was like, dude, you're making that your first show. They're like, you're going to be laughed at. It's a joke. And I didn't care. I was naive, so I didn't really know. I went there. There were probably 50 competitors in my group, and they had like Brazil flags on, China. They were coming from all these countries. So just imagine, like this took place in Columbus, Ohio, and for someone to fly from a different country to go there, they mean business. They're there. They're not playing around. And when I went backstage, I started seeing all these major influencers that I've been following for so long. I knew I was out of place at that moment. I did get laughed at. I got last place in that show. You could tell the judges didn't really look at me. It's kind of like, that guy, whatever. So then I was like, okay, how do I get on that next level? What steps separate someone? Because I thought I looked good. I had a six pack. I looked decent. I didn't look like trash. But there's a levels to everything, levels to life. And that's what I became obsessed with. And what I found to be the big determining factor was learning new mindsets, practicing new behaviors that will ultimately give you bigger and bigger actions as you progress.
Yeah. I mean, to echo what LA just, he was in this bodybuilding and he felt like he was just this little peon compared to everybody else that had all these years of experience. It's kind of similar to what I experienced in med school. So in med school, I mean, I don't come from a whole line of doctors. I wasn't the best in school growing up. Being a hemophiliac, I was in and out of school. I didn't really like school. I was always in crutches or a wheelchair. So I was kind of made fun of in school. So school was not something I really liked. So once I got into med school, I was like, do I even belong here? And you're seeing all these other folks that, they're highly educated. They have come from a long list of doctors. I don't come from money or doctors. And so I kind of fell out of place, but I was like, no, I can do this. There's some adversity here, but I can do this. And so just really pushing through, being resilient and persistent. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that first show wasn't your last show.
No, yeah, I've done about 15 shows or so now. I mean, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy journey. Yeah. But I really contribute mindset. How has mindset played a role in your journey so far?
For me, the mindset will come from, when it comes to working out, having a lot of things that take into consideration. Kind of like LA said, when you go into the gym, you can kind of go into the gym, you'll see some people lifting 100-pound dumbbells, then you'll see some people lifting 10-pound dumbbells. And when you walk into the gym, you don't know what mindset you're having. So it's very important to grab that mindset at the beginning. So when I was kind of swimming, my mindset kind of grew from that, and it helped me to become where I am today, because with the swimming, it came with the trial and the adversity from missing swim practice, from not being able to go to school, like Dr. Joe said. All of those things from when I was young created who I am today. Making the persistence to keep going to the gym. Yeah, that's what helps me going.
And I think
helps me keep going.
And I think just showing up.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, hey, I want to look like this, I want to have six pack, I want to do this, but you're not there yet, you at least have to start at 10 pounds or 5 pounds. And maybe you're in the gym and you are doing 5 or 10 pounds. You're being safe. And then eventually you get to 20, 25. And maybe you go in there and you do 10 reps. That's it. Yeah. And maybe you go run a mile. You have to start somewhere, because I see a lot of hemophiliacs that, in general, a lot of people that we're all unhealthy. We're all unhealthy. So starting somewhere small is a start. Yes. You got to start.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Especially having a bleeding disorder, or any chronic disorder, or just a normal human. Starting off small with baby steps, even a 10-minute walk every day is better than nothing. And it doesn't have to be gym related. It doesn't have to be bodybuilding related. I'm telling you guys, it does not have to. You can do a 10-minute walk, and I guarantee you the 10-minute walk will have you feeling a lot better than not doing anything.
Yeah, it's just mindset. It's the power of persistence. LA's seen it in his life. You got to start. And a lot of people are just afraid to start, but you got to start.
Yeah, and that's what I've seen, growing up and getting involved in the industry. A lot of people are starting, and they're starting with limiting beliefs though as well. And I think we develop these limiting beliefs at an early age, especially from the start. Hey, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I think that's why this episode is super important to have, professionals and on what we're doing to lead by example and show people what they can accomplish so we can eliminate some of those limiting beliefs. Yeah. The other thing that I really think about for me and what my mindset was, I had to establish my why. The reason why I'm doing this. And there could be a lot of reasons. For me, it was because I wanted to be a leader in the community. That was a big reason why. I needed to show up at my best for my family. My family needs me on my A game. And I know it's the same for all the listeners out there too. Somebody needs you to show up. It's not just about you. And my turning point in my life was when I was able to take myself out of the equation and focus on everyone else. And it can be really hard to do whenever you're really focused on trying to fill up your own cup. But even if it's not completely full, I promise you, if you shift your mental game to focusing on how you can help other people, you will start filling up your own cup. Your life will start to come together. You'll be starting associating yourself with the right people who will also then be able to fill you up.
And basically, a little side note, if you're hanging out with 5 guys that are drinking, doing drugs, losers, don't have a job, you're going to be number 6. If you're hanging out with guys that are dedicated, they're focused, they're responsible, they're good to their fellow neighbor, they speak a certain way, you're going to speak that way.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of us can get with the wrong friend groups.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to get out of the friend groups because you don't want to be that number 6.
Yeah.
Then kind of to backdoor off of what Dr. Joe and LA said, I kind of live off of this quote that I've been saying since I started my whole bodybuilding journey. Why I do it is because at one point I couldn't. And the reason why I say that quote is because having this bleeding disorder, there's times where I can't literally do anything. And there's times to where I can't. So when that quote comes about, it helps me know that one day I will be back to doing what I will be able to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
And, and another thing on this subject, because I do feel like it's so important, is our self-talk, the things that we say to ourselves in our heads. And I think that we need to spend more time meditating in the mornings when you're priming your day. Give yourself time to be in your thoughts and understand what's coming across. For me, one of the self-talk behaviors that I caught and decided to change was, I don't have to work out. I get to work out. If we can just start changing these little words in the way that we talk to ourselves, then it will really shape your perspective and give you that motivation you need to work out. This is a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to go to a gym. It's a privilege to be able to eat nutritious and to have supplementation. So if you're in that position, then don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
I like that. I really like that you're able to even do this. There's a lot of people that can't do this. Maybe they're stressed with their job. Maybe they got 4 kids. Maybe they got a bad home life where they physically, mentally, emotionally, they cannot do it. Mm-hmm. The fact that we have the ability to do this, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, I really like the mindset talk that we're discussing because a lot of it's just opening that door and going to the gym or doing whatever it may be to get you over that hump and get you in a better position. Mm-hmm. But starting is key.
Yeah. What about, Dr. Joe, as far as people being scared of injury and how do they mentally prepare themselves going into the gym knowing that you can get a bleed through working out?
Yeah.
So how do you manage that mentally?
Yeah. So I believe there's a big part of hemophilia that is in the head here. You're always told, watch out, don't do this, don't do that. Very constraining. And as a doctor, obviously you would want to consult your provider, but I will say from a provider and a patient standpoint, I'm more overly cautious. And so I'm not going to be the guy that goes in there and starts lifting 100-pound weights. But what I do, and I do lift weights, what I do have recognized over the years was, look, I'm the type of guy that's going to go low and slow and do smaller weights with higher reps. I'm going to focus on more cardio. That's just me. And the reason I say this is because there's the right amount of exercise for each individual person. So the answer no is really not the answer. I would say you got to exercise with caution and you have to let your body tell you when that limit is. And so I think what I would recommend is if I have a patient that's like, look, I don't work out, I have severe hemophilia, not mild or moderate, I have severe. Well, what should I do, Dr. Malesky? I would say starting at 10-pound dumbbells and doing maybe sets of 10 and do 5 to 10 reps. 5 to 10 times. and then get 10,000 steps a day in, start there. And then go to 15 pounds, go to 20. And that's what I did, and it works. And I have, by the way, severe shoulder problems. So I've got shoulder bleeds, ankle problems. So it's not like I'm like perfect. Yeah. I have a lot of target joints. So low and go slow. But you will realize that at maybe 6 months to a year, you might be like, I'm lifting 20 pounds. Yeah. And I'm walking.
This is working.
But the key is it's within your means.
Yeah. It's within your means. And maybe I'm walking 5 miles a day.
Yeah.
And so I think you'd be surprised what you can do. And I know that Carlin, I know that LA didn't just walk in there and start lifting 100 pounds. There's no way. But you had to start somewhere, and now this is where you're at.
Yeah, and so I think one of the key issues is that when you think about putting on muscle, you think you have to go in there and lift heavy. Why don't you talk about, like, I mean, did you kind of go through that process where at first you started going heavy, and then you had to like learn from your mistakes?
My first time in the gym was kind of like when I was 14 years old. I kind of started there, but now where I am now is completely different. You definitely have to start light. There was this one time where I kind of got out of my means, and when I get out of my means, I get tight. I get real tight. My back gets tight. I can't walk the next day. It gets real rough. Once I learned to slow down, and I work out 30 minutes to 40 minutes every day. That's my time frame. Mm-hmm. I don't exceed. I don't go under 30 to 40 minutes every day. It's 600 to 400 calories in the workout every day. The intensity is the same. Everything stays there. Now, if I go exceed that limit, I learn that sometimes I get a bleed. If I don't exceed that limit, everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So it took you some time. A lot of people want to go 0 to 100 miles per hour, and you definitely can't do this in this journey. But if you guys can follow, the things that we're teaching you, having more muscle around your joints is going to help your life. I know for me personally, I was stuck in bed for 3 months at one point, and I was panicking. I didn't know how, I could take care of my family. I was doing construction jobs, landscaping, retail. I tried everything, and I just couldn't do it. And I remember going to the grocery store one day, and I called my mom just crying because I couldn't go grocery shopping for myself. When you're a man and you can't even do the most basic tasks, it gets defeating.
Yeah.
I just remember bawling my eyes out. And I had to go down this journey. And unfortunately, I didn't have all of this instruction, this guide that we're giving you guys. I didn't have this. But that was my goal, is to one day, 10 years later, here I am with the perfect partners here to share this with you guys and help you develop.
Yeah. And really, the beautiful thing about this podcast is you guys can reach out to us. So, don't feel like you're on an island. He called his mom, but realize that obviously we're not your dad or your mom, but we're here for you. You can reach us on Instagram. You can reach us via simple text. I know I'm a doctor and I'm super busy, but I always pick up my phone. And I want to be maybe a resource for folks that maybe are having a hard time and they just want to talk. That's it. You just want to talk? I'm here. And so I feel like a lot of us wish that we had somebody.
Yeah.
It's very hard to go through a disorder when you don't have other people that have that same disorder around you.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's one thing to tell someone that you're going through this pain, but they don't understand the pain that you are going through.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to explain that, it's either they will look at you like there's nothing wrong because you can't see anything. I can tell you my arm hurts right now, but you can't see anything. So that's when it comes to the part to where it's very hard to even open up about your disorder to someone. So we are here for you. You're not the only one. It's a lot easier to have someone to talk to go about this with versus trying to manage it on your own. It is very challenging. Those dark spots can get very dark.
Yeah. It reminds me of a Chinese proverb that I heard that really stuck with me. And it was, if you want to understand the road ahead, ask those coming back. And that's what you guys need to do. You guys, in every aspect of life, the answers are always out there and you just have to search for them. So we're going to wrap up this mindset segment, but train like a hemophiliac. What does that mean? What does that mean to train like a hemophiliac? Passion, purpose, resilience, working smarter, not harder, or maybe working smarter and harder. I don't know. The thing is, we are setting the standard of what it looks like to work out like a hemophiliac. That is not it's not a negative, essentially. Yeah. This is a badge of honor, guys. Yeah. This isn't a handicap. This is a gift. This is a gift for you to look deep into and realize that it's going to create character inside of you that you might not have had a chance to develop if you were just normal and you didn't have this disorder. This unleashes something within us. One thing that like sticks out to me too is, throughout my journey is that, this world is not going to feel sorry for you. There is no handicap card that gives you a pass in this world. So you have a choice. You can suffer one way or suffer. There's suffering in both ways. It's going to be suffering to achieve what you want to achieve, and there's suffering for not taking action.
It's worse than it.
No one's going to feel sorry for you though, and that's what we have to do. Our families need us. The world needs us. So
yeah, and I just to say one thing on that. Growing up, I didn't want people to know that I had hemophilia. And to be honest, I only told a few close friends that I did, and they understood. But I the reason I want to say this is because sometimes you can get in that realm of just, okay, I am handicapped. I am. So I can do all these things that handicapped people do. And then you are handicapped. And then the no's start adding up, and you're like, now I see all the no's. Yeah. So I really am handicapped. And then you start defining yourself being handicapped.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just feel like, guys, hemophilia is a diagnosis. It doesn't define you. And we've seen that in all walks of life here. And it's just to be cognizant that, hey, I have hemophilia, but you're not going to get a free pass. Life's going to go on. And you have to understand that don't use that as something as a crutch. It's not a crutch, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, guys. I mean, that is our mindset segment. We're going to go ahead and end this episode right here. Got Dr. Joe. Thank you so much for this segment. Carlin, I appreciate you. We will be back, guys, for the next episode.